Hey guys, just finished watching The Flash, Season 3, Episode 22, Infantino Street. I, I don't know what to say about this episode. It, it was a fun, it was a great episode. Oh my god, like it says only 8.9 on IMDb here, but I definitely give it a 9 out of 10. I was surprised. It was disappointing though they didn't go and get like when they went and they brought Iris over to Earth 2 and stuff. They had they only had Wally West there. What about going over and saying getting Jesse Quick and Jay Garrick, have the two of them and Wally West, have the three of them all in there guarding there, and they have the three speedsters trying to attack them, and just seeing him seeing Savitar knock one speeder at a time, just kind of just knock them all over the place, take on all three of them like nothing, I think that would have made it way more impactful. And also, it's been a while since we've seen John Wesley Shipp back in the Jay Garrick costume, so I'd love to see him. He needs to be back, and I really hope he's back, at least for the next week's episode, last episode. I think it was pretty cool, and I loved how I liked how Savitar tricked everyone and tricked Wells or HR into figuring out and into finding out where they were hiding her and stuff. And at first I thought, why did he even, like, when we thought it was when he thought it was Barry, and I thought it was Barry, it was our timeline Barry. And it was like, why is he telling him? You're telling Savitar. There's no reason for him to ever know. He's not supposed to know, no matter what the circumstances. So it's just kind of silly for HR to even say it in the first place, because even if Barry asks, he's not supposed to know where it is, But wow, it was definitely gonna be interesting to see where things go with this, and how they fix this. Is he gonna fix it again? He can't go back in time to do it again. They also said that season 4, which this has been confirmed for, will be a different villain, that's not a speedster. So that'll be interesting to see how they set that up in next week's episode. Now that Iris is dead, and where do they go with that? Do they bring back Patty Spivot? Do they bring back they could bring back Linda Parks as a love interest. They're eventually going to bring back someone, but probably not until at least I'd like to see them not bring back a love interest for unless they bring back different ones that play around with him, maybe until like mid-season or something like that, at least for next season, which is pretty cool in this episode, especially dealing with them trying to get trying to play with Lila and stuff like that, and going into Argus and stealing the the thing from the doppelganger. And I was thinking about this whole thing from with Captain Cold, and him taking him out of the timeline. How does that not mess with anything? Now that he knows aliens come around and and all that stuff. Now that he knows about this shark, it's just I don't know if he can act on it without doing that, but I think it's definitely going to be interesting to see. If he doesn't tell 1892 version of Heatwave, I just been saving stuff, like saving the Flash and all that stuff. How does that not then, and he knows about aliens and stuff, because 1892 version of Heatwave probably hasn't fought the Dominators in the crossover that we got Invasion this season. So that means if he goes and tells him, he's gonna mess time and stuff. So I don't know. Does this Captain Cold realize that he cannot go and tell the rest of the team about what he just did here with King Shark and the alien power source and all that stuff? Because if he does do that, it's gonna mess with time and stuff. Although if he knew not to tell them, if he knows not to talk about what he just did in this episode, does he know he also is going to die? Obviously, I think Barry didn't tell him that, because that would really mess with the timeline if he found out he was gonna die and all that stuff. But I just think there's just a lot there to play with, and that's it's going to be weird to see how that goes and how that affects the Legends. Although the Legends are technically out of their own. They're in a weird universe or timeline or something like that. They're outside of the timeline right now in another alternate timeline that they've fallen into type thing. So It's going to be fun to see what they continue on. But getting back to the Flash and Iris dying, and I think it was pretty cool. I was glad that Iris is dying. Glad they didn't just, fix it at the last second or something like that. So hopefully they don't kind of spend next week's episode undoing everything that they did in this episode just for this big. I feel like they do that in some TV shows where they kind of do something big like this, kill off a character, and then have it undo in like the one episode, and then that's it. And it's just like what. So it's really interesting to see. I mean, with the trailers, the trailer doesn't show much. The trailer just shows the pickup right after where we left off in the end of this episode. It shows them, everyone crying. That's about it. And then it looks like Killer Frost in there and stuff like that. So that's going to be fun to see what things go with Killer Frost and Vibe and how their fight continues on, and see how things develop with that, because it's definitely would like to see Caitlin come back. But I'd like to see her, like I've been saying throughout the season in my reviews, if you've been watching all of them, I'd like to see her really control the Killer Frost powers, kind of like Hulk does in the MCU, where he can't really control it. It's not Bruce Banner's mind when he's in Hulk form and he's green. But he's able to, aim him like he did in the first Avengers movie. I'm always angry type thing. So it's going to be cool to see how they deal with that. And it looks like from the trailers that maybe there's a shot of Killer Frost, and then she's watching Savitar from afar. So maybe Cisco is able to talk her down and stuff, because I definitely like to see what happens with that. Because I'm not sure. I forget if when we went to see the future Cisco, who had like the robotic arms. Is that from this scene where Caitlin fights him in the woods? Is that where that happened for him? I forget if we saw where he lost his arms or something like that, or if we never saw exactly when or where he loses his hands. Because I definitely don't want him to lose his powers, and I need to keep Vibe around. So hopefully we can get to see Caitlin come back. Maybe Caitlin turns on him, and that's where things go wrong for him and all that stuff. But it's definitely going to be interesting to see how things go. And I definitely like to see Jesse Quick and Jay Garrick back. At least Jay Garrick. I need to see Jay Garrick back. It's been a while since we haven't seen John Wesley Shipp, and for a full episode. So hopefully he'll be back in next week's episode. Maybe Barry tries to go do something. Tries to go back in time, and then Jay stops him and is like, whoa, you can't do that again, dude. You're going to start affecting so much. Like, you've already affected stuff on my side and stuff. So it's going to be cool to see that. And it was also as cool in this episode, seeing Lila not trusting him at the beginning of the episode, and then finally trusting him throughout the end of the episode. So that's going to be fun. That was cool seeing that, and seeing how she kind of got her trust back, and seeing King Shark, another side note, seeing King Shark regenerate his hand. That's pretty cool. That's going to be cool to play with that later on. And yeah, so it's all in all, it was a great episode. I love the fact that they went in and they actually killed her off. Hopefully they don't undo too much of it in next week's episode, or the beginning of season 4 or anything like that. But at the same time, I kind of feel like eventually I'd like to have another Iris West come back, but I'd like to see them wait 2 or 3 seasons at least before bringing back a doppelganger version of Iris West or anything like that. So maybe 2-3 seasons, and then bring back a doppelganger version of Iris West. Or maybe, I don't know, it just would be really cool to do that in a whole new version of her. Same actress, just a completely different version of her, but wait like 2 or 3 seasons, something like that. So let me know what you think, guys, about this episode in the comments below, and what are your predictions for the last episode. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
You're still here.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Peace.
It's over.